No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.
Now remember, when things look bad and it looks like you're not gonna make it, then you gotta get mean. I mean plumb mad dog mean.
Good evening. Welcome to VP4 Online. Welcome back to VP4 TV. Welcome to Slim. Welcome to Bedhead. Welcome to Tommy. And anybody else that's hiding in the background. My countdown music is Down the Street Blues by Unicorn Heads, which is, what do you call it? What do you call that again? I'm trying to now it's straight out of my head. Anyway, it's music you get on YouTube that you can add to your streams, and you don't get a copyright strike on it. It's copyright free music, and yes, it is toe tapping stuff, but you've got to be a certain age to enjoy that sort of music. Anyway, well, the good news is we're back for Friday night, and it would have been normally Friday night 9-ball, but we've got VP4 2022 Black Ball World Championship matches on tonight, and we have the match that's scheduled was scheduled first as a match between Potman from England and LS3, who sports the United Kingdom flag, and that's a one-loss side match, race to 11. But if I can go back to this screen here, we can see that Stubb has also arranged his match tonight, so it clashes with Potman and LS3. We're going to be focusing on Potman and LS3. The other news is that Larry contacted me today in the lobby, and he was asking if 9 o'clock Saturday night would be any good to me in terms of streaming. And in actual fact, it's not, because it's a bit late for a match to start on the winner's side for me, because it would mean the match could possibly take 2 hours, depending how far it goes. And that would mean it'd be 11 p.m. at night by the time it finishes, which means I've got to be up at 4 a.m. So I suggested an hour earlier to Larry would be better. But he was asking me because Albinario had proposed 9 p.m. my time, which is 10 p.m. Albinario's time. And so I contacted Albinario on Facebook, and he said he would send another proposal to Larry. Larry had already sent another one to him. So to cut a long story short, we're still waiting on that going up on the bracket. But if they do set it for 8 o'clock, thanks for Albie and Larry agreeing that. That way I can get it covered. In fact, now that we're talking about that, Friday night 9-ball is full again. Another full house this week, which is excellent. We've got, who have we got? We've got Bankster, Bedhead, Chimpy, Cobra, DJ Redo, DJ Simon, John Boo, Christian, Larry, Mr. Bill, One Pocket Slim, Sergaresh, Sylvia, Simank, Spectre Dawn, and Travelling TT. They're all in. In fact, let's have a look at the bracket. What time is it? 6 minutes to go. We've got Bill against Slim in the first round, Sylvia against Simanx, Larry down in his third spot again against Bankster, Cobra and Christian, DJ Simon and John Boo, Chimpy and Bedhead, Sergresh, Spectre Dawn, and DJ Redo and Travelling TT. So that's the bracket all set for Friday night 9-ball. In the meantime, let's just have another quick look at this black ball bracket, if we can get there. Not the bracket, just to see if the schedule's been updated. Well, it hasn't. Nothing's come through yet from the Albinario and Larry proposal, so the scheduled matches are as they stand. What we will do though is I want to get back to Friday night 9-ball so I can have that bracket up and just keep an eye on it as things go along, because once this match is finished, I'll be going to cover the rest of Friday night 9-ball. Right, so now I don't know whether Steve's coming in tonight or not. I'm in Discord, so if he does show up, I'm already in there. I don't need to tab out to switch it on. Welcome to Happy Dolo. Well, did I say welcome, Tommy? I can't remember. I'm looking to see if I've missed anybody. That's Mr. Deanster. Good evening. So, well, LS3 and Potman. I suppose this is down to who holds himself together the longest and who makes the fewest mistakes, because there's going to be mistakes made. It could run close. It could run very close. The Stubb match, I think Stubb's odds on favourite for that. I wouldn't be sticking my neck out that far by saying that. We'll keep an eye on it as well as we go along. I'll need to tab back and forward from both brackets just to check them and see how it goes. So we're moving along in this VP4 Black Ball World Championship. Big matches to come, both on the one-loss side and the winner's side. So there's going to be what's Bedhead saying about his rating still bugged? What, 9-ball rating? Anyway, back to the main screen. We're all set. In fact, I haven't seen LS3 in now that I've mentioned it. LS3 isn't here. Potman is. But I don't recall seeing her during the afternoon either. So again, they're going to get warmed up when the match starts. That's quite clear. So good evening to Wit. Yeah, you've got to you're best signing up tonight for next week's. To be honest with you, that way you don't forget to get in, because Friday night 9-ball's getting full by 6:30 my time, and if you're not in soon enough, you're going to turn up 15 minutes before the start. You'll find it's pretty much shut out. Lots of people desperate to get in, which is always good. And last week's was one of the fastest Friday night 9-balls for a long time. It really flew through, which was amazing. And it's amazing how things go. You don't necessarily have to have 16 in it to make it a long tournament. We've had less than that in it, and it's went on an awful lot longer. It's went on an hour longer than it did last week. But it just depends what matches start holding up the bracket. You're still going to have the odd match that's going to go 40 minutes in the first round. And that's what holds it up. No, I watched. That final frame this afternoon, I think, was pivotal. John Higgins, I don't know what was going through his head when he was on the black ball, and all he had to do was pot the black ball on its spot to leave O'Sullivan needing snookers. And for some reason, he had some idea in his head that he was going to stun the black ball in to try and chip one of the last two reds out to secure the frame. And what he ended up doing, missing the black ball, and then they had a safety bout. And Ronnie really, he thoroughly deserved that frame for the hard work that he did to actually stay in there, especially getting onto that black ball where it was sitting. The long pot in the red as well, it was brilliant. But I think that's broke the back of the match. He's got a 4-frame lead. John Higgins looks as if he's burnt out. He just looks as if he looks flat to me. Stephen Hendry saying the same thing. He just thinks that he said earlier that he thought Ronnie O'Sullivan. If there's one player going to pull away, it's going to be O'Sullivan. It's not going to be Higgins, and it does. He just looks burnt out. But he's still got 2 sessions to go, and he might have his good sessions in the last 2 of them. He's not out of it yet. O'Sullivan still has to get to 17. And the match with Judd Trump and Mark Williams, again, Trump's 6 frames in front. He's 11-5 in front. Williams needs a stonker of a session to get back in it. He's got a slim chance of winning it. But Ronnie O'Sullivan has got, he's definitely got the determined look about him that he wants to win this. He's banging his cue, he's slapping his cue, he's getting annoyed, and that's a bad sign. If he's getting annoyed, he's in the mood to win this thing. But regardless, it's going to be a cracking final. If it goes the way it's going to go, it's going to be Trump and O'Sullivan in the final. That'll be a brilliant final. Anyway, LS3 is here. And the Little Wolf Stub room is up just before we go in. They're probably lagging off in that other room. Little Wolf is there. Stub is in away mode and he's waiting on getting the warning to go into the room. Neither of the two of them are in the room. So what we're going to do is, if we can find the room, we're going to get into Potman LS3. And LS3's in. I'll have a quick drink if I can find my bottle. 11-9 to LS3. It could be that way either way. But I can't watch the snooker while I'm streaming. I'd get done for copyright. Well, I could, but that would mean I couldn't see my second monitor, and that's no good. I need to see what's going on. Right, here we are for the lag. If I can get my my V button to work again. Am I muted again? Oh, I know what I did. I muted it because I was trying to get my donut to work. That's what it was. Because I've got some of my shortcut keys using the Alt button, and the Alt button does weird things with the donut in the game. So Potman has his free shot, and again, Potman's not dealing with the problem red down the table off his free shot, which is again crazy. This here is something that he has to deal with, and the free shot is he's only going to be potting a ball. Now I think he's maybe had thought better of it now. Maybe he was just studying the table. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But that yellow needs pushed out the way, or the red needs brought into the table. One of the two. Well, he's left himself a bit close to this red. In fact, that's not a comfortable shot. So now the other thing is, the angle he's got in that red into the side is no good to him just to drop through. He's got to try and drop through. He's really awkward here. He's Chinese snookered over the red. If he pots the one in the side, the cue ball's got to be hitting that other red, or at least hitting those two up top. And he's missed the red into the side. This is a thin cut cue ball. If it's the yellow down the bottom right hand side, it's really thin. Again, hampered over that red, it just makes it more difficult. And cue ball's going to be squirting up the table somewhere. Now, ideally, LS3 would like to maybe run into yellow just to take the pace off it, but got control of the pocket. The worst thing that's happened for LS3 there is that she's left Potman on this red that it would be really difficult to get to, so that's the one he's obviously going to take out. Good evening, Mark. Good evening to Napnicker. And welcome to anybody else who's joined the stream. So they both had chances. Well, now's the right time to try and make a move, but again, with LS3 having control of this corner pocket, Potman should maybe just be playing for time here and trying to push a red down over that other corner pocket. I'd be hitting this to the jaw, just somewhere up there, just to make sure that that yellow's got nowhere to go up there. Because there's no point in trying to get the run out if you can't get good in this. Well, that hasn't worked out because it's obviously not blocked a pocket. But what it has done is it's blocked a pocket for the 8 ball. But although this one will go now, that's how LS3 is going to get out. She's managed to chip that yellow in. She's going to have to cut this and hope that she doesn't scratch the side and finishes as straight as she can on this yellow. Just to drop it in, kill the cue ball for the 8. So this is a shot here. I don't know why she's looked at the yellow in that way, because now this is where you've got to play a good shot to get on it. Again, there's no way in earth I would have played that yellow there. Not a chance. So she's got to get really good. Well, that is a lot better than it could have been. I mean, that's pretty good to finish there. But doing it the hard way. So that was on LS3's break. And it's ended up in a good out there, but not the way I would have done it. What is it, Mark? I'm busy looking at the screen. Yes, the chair's fine. Yeah, it's still good. Good evening to Hazard. So a ball in the break for Potman. Committed to the yellows and nudging reds closer to that 8 ball. I think he's dead straight in this yellow. Pretty much. Can pinch a wee bit. Well, the shot to get on is this yellow here, somewhere there, so that you can nudge things out the way of the 8 ball. That's that yellow will go up table. Of course, now when he's following through, it looks as if the cue ball's going that way, depending on how much he puts into this cue ball. So if he finishes short, he can get rid of this one. Well, it hasn't gone in. In fact, it would have been handy if it had have, because that's maybe again the best chance you'll have of getting this yellow. Right, LS3 has a lot of work to do, and while she's got a lot of work to do, just give me a second. Well, that's the Potman LS3 match. And that's the Stubb Little Wolf match. And I presume they're obviously both in now and it's underway. Now, meanwhile, LS3 has given up the table, and Potman and is trying to squeeze that just over the pocket. It was just more a moving shot rather than trying to pot it because he couldn't get the potting angle on it. And he's got control up the table here as well. So Potman's in a good position at the moment, but LS3 is going to have a chance to try and deal with this one way or another. But it's not going to be easy. Well, I don't know whether it'd be worthwhile potting this red over the corner pocket and trying to go over to the left. Well, she's managed to squeeze that in past Potman's yellow. Now, it might be worth having a run at this. That's what she's tried. Has it got the spin on it? Well, got a little clip, but no joy. I take it the stream quality's okay, no complaints since we fixed it. As long as the punters are all happy. Well, Potman is just going to have to nurse this in to stop the cue ball leaking away behind the red. And he got on the yellow. And as long as that red remains there, LS3 get no chance, obviously, of running out. Unless you play some great shot to get up top of that red ball. Well, now what she should be doing is banking that red up that direction to try and get it over the hole. That's the one shot that she could use to try and survive this rack. So the angle would be to send that red to there to get it to run down that way and try and block that pocket for the yellow. Or if she can do that, that'll work out just as well. So now it's even Stevens. How did I spell England the last time? Was it Engerlund? England, England, England. So Potman's now got a problem, and he's got. I think if he cuts this thin, try and cut it as much as he can, and try and run the cue ball across, he might get lucky. He's got to try and pinch as much as he can off this by cutting that in, going to the rail and letting it come across. You've just got to chance your arm playing this shot. Well, he's looking at trying to get somewhere here, I would imagine. That's never going to follow that red in. He's now trying to. Well, I thought he was thinking of bumping it to the rail to come out behind the red again, but he's got a chance here. Well, that might not be a great shot because that is a good bank for LS3. I don't think that was a wise move. Because either or, LS3 is going to have control of this pocket. And Potman should have played the cut and tried to get into the two of them and go for the kill. But LS3 has got it short. And that should have been in or over the pocket, that ball, and it's neither. But Potman's still got work to do. He's still got to get good on this last red up table. And he's got limited places where this 8-ball's going to go. Well, in fact, now that I look at it, it goes in every pocket. I thought it was kind of blocked by that red. It isn't. That'll do. Good line. And this should be all square. So it's went with the break so far. And Stubb is 2-0 up against Little Wolf. I think Little Wolf... well, I don't doubt Little Wolf's going to get chances from the mistake Stubb makes. It's whether Little Wolf's going to be any good enough to take them. So LS3's break came up with a ball. The decision is yellows, and these yellows are not bad. Obviously, that yellow there goes into the side. This goes in, that goes in. This is awkward here. And I don't know that you want to be keeping that there as an emergency backup. Well, because it might be difficult to get on that yellow. Obviously, she's got this one, but what would worry me is keeping that there just to block the pocket. And if Potman got good on the red, he could try and get that to follow in. Now this has got to come out clean, this cue ball. It doesn't want to be running into anything. And there's room to get out. But that's a bit too heavy. That needed just to creep out to about there. And now there's a problem. Because you can't pot any of them with any force to try and get back down the table for that yellow. But that's a good little cut. Now, well, I think you can just see enough to pot that yellow, but does LS3 want to pot it? She's trying to kick it in to create the angle, and that's a good shot. Got the right weight as well. And the only worry now is this has got to be dinked in nice and gentle so the cue ball squirts past that red. And that's well done. That's a break and run, I think. Is it? No, it isn't. I can't remember. I don't know whether it was. Did she pot a red in the break as well? Maybe she did. But it was a good run out regardless for a 2-1 lead. Yeah. Mark Williams needed to win this session about 6-2 to have a chance. But I don't think that's going to happen. So into rack number 4, Potman's break, and all the racks are going with the break so far. And these reds are not bad because, again, if Potman does this right, you can certainly get onto any of these here at some point and then get that awkward one into the side pocket. So there's the problem red there, that one. And that's the one that can be got at because you've got 3 balls that give you a chance to get there and deal with it. Now, ideally, well, that's now gone ugly, but he's still got a shot on it. And even though it's awkward, I'd be taking it. Because this other one here still goes past the yellow, that's not a problem. But this is the one that needs to be dealt with, even though it's awkward. Now, taking this other one means he's running into the yellow and red, and you don't know where it's going. He could end up nudging it up towards this one. Well, he's kept it in play. And now the simple shot will be to roll it up over the corner or in. And depending on where he goes to on the rail, if he can back out, he could be able to see that one to cut it onto or take this one down the rail. But again, he can't force that in. And he doesn't want to be coming this way to take this one and then try and get out onto that one. He might not have much room to work with. So LS3 has got a few things to deal with here to stop Potman getting out. But Potman has got to be careful in how he does try to take these out, because you can't be slamming that in, because it won't go in when you slam it. And I say, I don't like the idea of taking this one and then trying to get out onto that one. You need to hit this thin so that you run over and you can hook yourself behind the yellow. And if you ran over far enough to up here, then you'd have a cut. So it's not quite as simple as it looks. But sooner or later, well, that's changed it. Because that nudging the yellow, first thing that means is that Potman can obviously combo the red onto the yellow to get rid of that red, which actually might be better for him. But he'd much prefer if that yellow followed the red in as well. And has that got to a rail? Well, it must have just feathered the rail. And the good thing now is that Potman can duck up the table. He can leave LS3 on her yellow, but there's not much she can do. The 8 ball is stopping a path for the cue ball to run here and open this pocket up if Potman runs up the table. So Potman in a strong position here and should be favourite to take this rack. Don't forget, he's still got one red up in the top right hand corner. Well, that's a good little shot by Potman, and that gives him a chance to go for the kill. Well, I think he should be just dealing with this right now. I don't think I don't think it's any benefit to him potting that one, even though it's a bit tight to get to, because he wants to see how this pans out down the bottom of the table. He wants that yellow to follow in, and if it doesn't, Potman's in trouble, unless his other red blocks the yellow. But you've got to be committed 100% and go for it. I mean, if he pots this up here, is he going to have a shot in this red? He might be hooked behind the 8 ball. No, I don't believe he wanted that to go in. And look what he's done. He's not got himself where he's seen enough of the red. I mean, he can still cut the red and hit the yellow, but the yellow's not going to go in. I think he was in as good a position he was ever going to be on that shot, and now he's got himself in trouble. Now, we know that this is going to knock the red in, but I think the yellow's going to stay up, and Potman's then in trouble. Well, not a lot of options here for LS3. Yeah, I think she's got to get that yellow down into the mix here, but Potman now, again, same position. He can only see the right side of the red. Now, he could hit this fairly firm and try and hit the red and chip the yellow and knock his other red in. He's got to hit it thin. Well, again, that's not trying to get out, is it? I mean, you've got to be proactive. I mean, he had a chance here to try and thin that, chip the yellow, knock his red in, and get that other red out on the table somewhere, and then might have a chance of getting out. And now he's completely hooked. Well, again, depending how the spin reacts off this rail, if he can get the right hand English on it and kick this red, he might still nudge his other red in, and the good thing would be that that red is going to come up the table somewhere. Well, that's now cleared the pocket, and that's worked out good for Potman and LS3. I think she can just feather that. Well, that's now given Potman the free shot that he's been waiting on to take this rack out. LS3 needed to feather that really, really thin if that was ever going to have a chance of dropping in that yellow ball. And the billiard onto Potman's red has given him the free shot. Now he's thinking about where he should be playing it, and obviously he has to play it from bulk because he's got no shot other than he wants to try and get this other yellow into play. He's decided to... What am I talking about? It's the bloody red seas on. There's the brain gone already at 7:30 at night. Well, that's about the first time I've seen a ball hit that middle knuckle and actually drop in. So this to square the match. So once again it goes with the break. Good evening to Cobra. And Potman, not Potman, Stubman is now 4-1 up. And on LS3's break, she's had a ball. She decided the yellows are the ones to deal with, but again, that shot, I think she was hoping to hit one of these reds full in the face there so that she could deal with the two that's down the bottom, and now she's out of line because to try and get back down here, these yellows are guarded by all these reds. There's a wall of red balls protecting the yellows, and there's going to be some cracking shot to get down here to be able to play either one of them. And LS3 doing the sensible thing. I don't think Potman's got a line. I think he's blocked by the 8 ball. He's not got a line to kick those reds, so if he was going to try and kick them, he's going to have to play it from here with loads of left English to hit the rail and give it a hit. Well, he's gone the other way, and he's managed to find a way to hit nothing. Well, nothing that's going to legally hit a rail, I think. Oh, there's a full snooker. Forgot about that. Full snooker, you don't need to hit a rail after hitting the object ball. In actual fact, it didn't finish too bad at all there for Potman. LS3 this time has left him in a Chinese snooker. Now he's going to try and cut this one and gain control of the pocket. If it goes in, it'll be a bonus. If it doesn't, it's a blocker. Oh, he got a 137. He needed it. I never noticed. Or did I say good evening? Maybe I did earlier on. I can't remember. So Potman is now the strong favourite for this rack to take a rack against the break here. He's in a commanded position, and really he should be taking this out. Well, LS3 can try and thin cut the yellow along the bottom rail while she's banked it. I don't know whether it, maybe there wasn't any room. So the main concern is nudging this one in, the cue ball running up the table, and then you've got to find a way to get back down. Now you could obviously take a risk and open the pocket here by getting rid of this one from up table. Now, Potman's just biding his time and not trying to do anything spectacular, which is a sensible way to go about it, because all the onus is on LS3 to try and improve her situation, and as long as that red remains over the bottom right, she's got no chance of winning this rack. Well, she does, if she can get the bank, and I don't know whether that line's any good. It doesn't look a great line for a bank yet, because you couldn't get the cue ball out of the way. And the double kiss has, well, Potman is now under pressure to keep things safe, because the yellow is obviously clearly in play, and it's also adjacent to the 8 ball, which is handy for LS3. So from being favourite in the rack, Potman's now under pressure. That's, one shot can just turn it like that. And although he can pot reds here, it's not just that. It's now that he can't miss and leave this yellow on, and he's trying to run the table. So that brings the factor of the pressure of having to do that. I think that's a fairly straightforward, pretty much 3-ball combo. It's going to the knuckle, but it's got to hit the red anyway. Now he's in two minds whether to play this combo or just try and nudge the other red over the top left-hand corner. But if it doesn't go in and he leaves that cue ball in play, LS3 may well have a shot. So he's played the combo, and of course he wants to leave the yellow that's on the rail, not the yellow, the red that's on the rail as his ball to get to the 8 ball, which then means it's a simple out. And it really should be simple from here. Another little combo, just dead weight, and leave the other red there. And this is just a little gentle roll. This is going in every day of the week. As long as just a nice little gentle roll, it's going to go in. And you're on the 8 ball, no problem. That's exactly how you want to play it. So this now is the first chance in the match for one player to take advantage. And Potman's got the advantage. He's stolen the break. We're into rack number 6, and it's Potman's break. But he's got to follow that up by getting a ball in the break, and he hasn't. And the 8 ball's gone really awkward on the side rail. I don't think it's on the rail. It's just, it's a good few millimetres off the rail. Now it's up to LS3 to take advantage of that dry break. Well, this has ended up a bit in no man's land because you've got one yellow up table, and just try and keep yourself on the other yellow that's on the top rail. Get rid of that. So well, that's not a good idea. I don't think, because again that yellow could easily have went dead in amongst those two reds there. And there was no need to really move it from down the bottom of the table here. There's plenty of room to get at the other yellow that was blocking the pocket. I don't think that was needed. Where the problem lies for LS3 is getting onto that red that's in the middle of the table, stuck to the other two, not the red, the yellow that's stuck to the two reds, more or less. And now Potman has blocked this bottom right hand corner pocket. LS3's in trouble again. Thought that was going to brush off that yellow and go in. And probably just as well it didn't. But I'm surprised that LS3 never took the yellow that was up here and then get rid of that one. Because if she'd done that, we wouldn't be messing about with these up table. That one's closer to rail than the other one, but can certainly make sure that that red blocks that pocket if he wants to play a little cut along the rail. And he's got a chance to do that now if he pots the left hand side red. Just roll that in and then leave himself the cut on the first red. Doesn't look as if the second red will go in, but it will certainly go over the pocket. But that's the shot I'd be playing. I'd be just playing a little nudge to get one of my red balls in that corner. Well, LS3's really backed into a corner here one way or another. And Potman's got this well under control at the moment. Although that shot there by LS3, I mean, it improves her yellow. It's left him really awkward, stuck in his two reds. And LS3 saying, look, you know, you can obviously play up the table, but how long do you want to mess about? Are you going to try and run out? Or are you just going to tap around here? Potman's got the extra insurance of the red block in the pocket up in the top right, but you know, this situation as it is, with these two reds now blocking this pocket, they're pointless. Them sitting there, you might as well get rid of them because the 8 ball has to have a pocket to go into, and that's the only pocket it's going to go into at the moment. Good evening to Semi-Pro. And Stubb is 7-1 up. I think Little Wolf's got his fill of racks that he's going to win tonight. He might be lucky and get another a second one, but that'll probably be down to Stubb doing something daft. Stubb, I can just picture it now, Stubb banging balls all over the place and taking risks because he can get away with it. Well, I know what I'd be doing. I'd be potting that red over the corner, drawing back into the table, playing the cut onto this one, and trying to obviously clear the table. Because this 8 ball has to have a pocket, and there's no point in patting around here for 20 minutes. And that's just ruined his chances. Right there and then. Had to get the one in the top rail first and get rid of that. Now he's going to have to try and chip it out. And he can't see enough of his red to do it. And suddenly, in one shot, it's now 50-50 as to what way this rack's going to go. You see, Potman's now got a red block in this bottom pocket. He's got a red stopping LS3 getting to the her other yellow, and there's not much that Potman can do positively here because he, you know, if he starts opening the pockets up and doesn't break out his red, he's not going to win the rack anyway. So he'd be probably better just banking that red that he's stuck against up the table. And if he spins into his own red, fine, but there's no point leaving it there. I don't know why he's not playing that red. Let's have a look. Well, he is. He's stuck to it. In fact, that's why he's not doing it. It's touching. I've just realised looking at the HUD. That would be a foul shot, would it not, Semi? Oops, wrong button. Wrong button there. Would that be a foul shot? If that's touching the red, he's deemed to have touched it like in snooker. So if he moved it, it'd be a foul, wouldn't it? That's just come into my head there. The fact that he was already on that red, would it not be like snooker? Only semi-pro can confirm that. Or because it's touching, can you not just play away from it? Because that's worthwhile clarifying that. So it would have been a foul if he moved it, but if he played away from it and hit another object ball, it would be a legal shot, would it not? Because you're already deemed to have hit his own red. I presume if he played away from it to a safe spot, that would have been a legal shot. And I'm wondering if that's the case, whether Potman was aware of that, or anybody else was aware of it from that matter. The semi-pro still there? I think he's came in and fallen asleep immediately. I want him to answer that query there. Yeah, when he was touching his own red. But what I'm saying is, would he not have just been able to play away from that red? He could have hit another object ball. As long as a ball got to a rail, it would be a legal shot. I'm assuming it is because it sounds the most logical explanation. But anyway, LS3 is still in bother here because she's going to have to be committed one way or the other. Trying for the cut and trying for a hit here. Hoping to get lucky. Good line. Oh, that's a cracking shot. Let's see if the replay works. Well, that got the right hit and the desired result there for LS3. That was well done. So she's taken the bull by the horns and gone for it. And if she can get this 8 ball in, she's got the reward. And that was well done. To pinch the rack back, or pinch the break back from Potman and square the match. Had a good enough angle to make use of it and made use of it to her full advantage there. But the downside of that is LS3's broken. It's another dry one. Potman's eyeing up the reds. Now, was that a wise move? Because that yellow passes the red up there, and all the other yellows are on. I don't know whether that was the best choice there. Although I don't know how easy he had I don't think he had an easy yellow, but that yellow goes. And that's the only yellow that's a slight problem, but it does go, and all the other yellows are available. So if Potman keeps potting balls without trying to get somewhere, and he's now probably going to play that shot, he's probably going to cut this red, just go into the gap, even though he's over the yellow ball, or maybe he's not comfortable with it. But that would be the shot I would look at, is just nudging that red down to the pocket, because I had half a chance of getting it. So now he's going to be fully committed. He's kept potting balls. He's had half a chance to move that red into a more favourable position, and he didn't take it. Now he's got to play the little combo. So this has to be cut slightly away to get that top red to stay on a line towards the pocket. And Well, that again is the best thing that's happened here. It hasn't gone in. But nothing's changed with that red and yellow that's there, because the yellow does go and it's still tight. But of course, as long as the red stays there for the time being, LS3 can't do anything about it, but she can certainly try and get cover here. I don't know whether it's worth cutting that yellow, avoiding a double kiss and trying to get across. She might just try and get cover here, but if you do try and get cover, you've got to play it well, because that's obviously a clear path to the red. It's a dangerous shot. And, well, I think Potman can get this. There's plenty of room. He's going to run onto the yellow. And as long as he plays this dead weight, he should be out, because the red's going to stay there. So that's a mistake from LS3. But she had the right idea. Well, he's played it straight on. And this is the only... Well, there's two problems. First of all, she can't see any of yellows into the side. That's an awkward cut. It's way too close. But if she can get out into the table a wee bit, could have done with coming out a bit further. But the further you want that cue ball to come out, the more oomph you've got to hit in the shot, and the more risk you take of just hanging the ball up. Well, that's another good one. An easy kick for Potman. The problem, though, is that the chances are that red's going to come off the other red and end up out here somewhere, or on that red, depending on what pace he plays this at. Well, it's went the other way. Well, the stub match didn't last long. 11 racks to 2 to stub. Yeah, stub match started at the same time, Chico. Started at 7 p.m. 53 minutes ago, and it's all over. Well, Little Wolf got his second rack, but that was pretty much all he was going to get. Yes, I'm muted again. A lot of these players do have strange ways of using a free shot. I mean, you see some daft stuff going on. I mean, Potman could just have drawn that red ball into the side pocket, drawn off it, and took his 8-ball, no problem. But it all came about from the mistake by LS3. So Potman back into the lead, stole the break off LS3, decided on the yellows. Now, the yellows are not a problem. The problem is the last yellow and staying low on this 8-ball to take it up table. Well, the obvious thing is you play the combo, you get the cue ball around the corner and out into the table and try and deal with that ball that's in the middle of the table. But how do you get to the 8-ball? You want to be trying to get off one of these last yellows down the table to get on it. Stub favourite for the tournament? Well, there's a number of players that are left in this tournament that would simply have to fall apart and capitulate in their own downfall for Stubb to win this. That's how bad it has to get. Every day plays from now on in has to have a nightmare, and a worse nightmare than Stubb in order for Stubb to win it, I think. He's got far too many hurdles to get over to have a chance of winning this. Might be I mean, let's be honest, that would be the biggest surprise of the whole tournament, having seen the way he plays. But we have seen how it's affected a couple of players in this tournament playing in these matches. They seem to be playing it like a matter of life and death, and it's getting to them. We saw Sylvia lose a match to LS3 and decide she's had enough of the tournament. She couldn't handle it. And then we've seen MC Clarkey pretty much head the same way. After his result, he's decided he doesn't like the idea of competition. Like I say, he might have had a totally different opinion had he won that match. And he had the chance to win it. I think that's what got to him more than anything else. Yeah, if you're in it to win it. Well, if you include Mal in that, for whatever his reasons are genuine or not. LS3 with a gilt edge opportunity to square the match. It looks fairly straightforward. Just a little roll into the side. Well, as soon as Potman pinches the brake, he ends up losing the next rack. That's happened twice so far. We're back all square, 4 racks all. And we are an hour and 3 minutes into this match. And we've only played 8 racks. And Potman's brake has come up dry again as well. The table's a wee bit awkward. in a couple of spots. Well, obviously Steve isn't coming in, so while Potman's making his mind up here, we'll see this shot first. Oh, we'll see that as well. So he made the first move and he made the wrong move immediately. Potsy yellow and scratches, so it's a foul stroke. Free shot to LS3. The table is still open because it was a foul shot. And she's going to go for the kill by opening up the well, I thought she was going to open up the troublesome balls here with the free shot. Could play the combo in the yellow and the red. The red's dead set into the pocket. Right, back in a wee second. Right, that's Discord shut down. Well, one thing about Maguire is he never went into that match with any semblance of confidence at all. Because Ronnie's he's never beaten Ronnie at the World Championships. I don't think he's ever beaten him in any other tournaments either. Well, LS3, if she can get the cue ball out of here. Oh, well, that almost went really bad. Well, this cue ball won't roll through a great deal because it is lighter, which is actually to LS3's advantage there, because that allowed her to hold the line to stay on that, what would have been the last red ball. But now Potman comes to the table under pressure to try and run out here, regain that lead. I have to say no, I haven't had a Glasgow kiss. Although I could maybe do one right now to keep me awake. Well, it looks as if there's a little stun. See, I would have played the little stun. I mean, it's okay, you can take this. But I would have played the little stun. It's 6.5 a dozen. But I would have much preferred being up here to take one of them there to get back onto that yellow. If you take that yellow and end up going up there, you've got to get in a really good spot to get on that one. If you take this one, you've got to go forward and out to get on that one. So, again, I would have played the stun so I can get up here and play that. See now, well, the cue ball wants to run up to the 8 ball. You can play a little dinky stun shot and still hold for the red into the other corner. That'll do it. Good evening to Run Out Rob. Well, now it's just about stunning across for the 8 ball into the side. The angle's there to do it. He's looking as if he's putting top in the cue ball as it stands at the moment. Is he trying to come off the rail and back across to into the other side, into that one? See, now he's gone to that no man's land zone. But that wasn't the right shot there, but it's worked out. He's got the most important part of that right. Potting the 8 ball back into the lead. Now, the last time he had that, he then had a dry break. Red goes in this time though. And all the reds are on. There's the one that you can get to from the middle of the table. If he's taking that one into the side, he's stuck to the rail, so he can only go forward. Well, it's a little thin nudge just to block the pocket. That's a wee bit thinner than he thought. Now, does that yellow go past? Yes, it does. It goes into that corner pocket as well. So you're trying a little nudge here to improve things. And that's all of a sudden gone a bit pear-shaped because LS3 can't do anything with these balls here other than cut one of them up the rail. And she can't see the one into the side. And she can only see the two that are up table. Good evening to Brain Fill Out. Good evening to Simanx. What makes you think I'd be in a Glasgow pub anyway? Glasgow's 21 mile away from me. I only work in the where I work is still like 6 or 7 miles from the city centre. But I've not been to Glasgow city centre for a number of years. I used to go up every week when I was up looking for games and stuff years ago, but I haven't been for a long time. And the main reason I don't is because it's horrible trying to get the car parked. I used to park south of the river at can't remember the name of the underground, but I used to park in the underground car park. The car park for the underground, the Glasgow Underground, and then walk across the Clyde, or the bridge over the Clyde, and that took you right into the city centre. But even getting parked south side of the river's terrible now. Traffic's really busy. In fact, the other reason I used to go up to Glasgow every week was to go to HMV and see what deals there were going in the CDs at the time. So that shows you the last time I was in Glasgow. Oh, I can't wait to qualify for a bus pass, because that way you can go wherever you want. You can sit in the bus all day, keep warm. In fact, many a pensioner should be doing that. Just get yourself on a bus, take some sandwiches with you, and go off one bus onto another bus. You can leave the heating off in the house all day, and then come in and then put it on at night when you get home. Well, does that red... Well, that red will kick into the knuckle and take over the pocket, I think. Which should be Potman's next move. I wish that was true. You've leached our Scottish oil for 40 years, you robbing bastards. That's all went straight into the coffers of the English government, that one. Don't get me started on that kind of stuff. I mean, the Scottish oil's what kept the English afloat for 40 years. Well, that's the shot that I spoke about. Potman gaining control of the pocket. And now he's in a position to go for the kill to get a 2-rack lead. But LS3's managed to squeeze that yellow in and off behind the back door of Potman's red ball. And LS3's going to be committed to the out here, and that's going to finish up by playing this yellow ball onto the red and hoping both of them go in. And unless she gets really good on the yellow, that would be unlikely to happen. But I don't think she can see anything up table. Let's have a look. No, she can't. But that is a good shot. Well, good from the point of view that Potman's stuck to the red pretty much. And Potman's just got to be careful that he doesn't leave a straight in shot for LS3, that he uses this 8 ball so that she can't get to it right now. Well, you're not allowed to change your prediction. What was your prediction in the first place, Whit? And that's a good shot. Excellent shot by LS3. That's got Potman in the mire here. And LS3 is ready to pounce. Yeah, that is a bit weird. LS3's quite right. Why is that not a full snooker? Is semi-pro watching this still? Look at that. Why is that not a full snooker when the yellow ball... I mean, the game's saying that there's an edge of that red ball sticking out that Potman can hit. You kid me on. I wish Steve would see this. Well, it ended up at LS3's getting generous. I wouldn't be doing that. That's the game that's messed up. I'd be taking everything that's there. Free shot and everything. The game called it, but Steve needs to see that and come up with an explanation as to why that wasn't a full snooker. 1 pixel. Anyway, LS3 has the chance to square the match, but has got to get in the middle. Well, she's missed a yellow, and Potman's been let out of jail there, and this should be 6-4 to Potman. It'll be a big fail if it isn't, because it's a fail there by LS3. Had the rack at her grasp, and she hasn't potted the yellow, and that's a cardinal sin. Potman now, he really should be home and dry here in this rack for the first time in the match to give himself a 2-rack gap. And now it's all about how he gets this cue ball out. I would think it needs a bit of left spin to get out over to the right, and maybe a little bit of draw. Oh, he's just played it plain ball, I think. Again, I can't read these rails and what the ball's going to do. But what it does mean is Potman has the big advantage now, and LS3 is under pressure on her break. In rack number 11, she has a ball in the break. And the obvious problem is these 4 red balls sitting here to the right of the cue ball. And if she chooses the reds, she's going to have a lot to deal with there, because there's none of them are a combo anywhere. And she's decided in the reds anyway, played the combo with the yellow and red up table. And it's probably good from Potman's point of view that he's got a yellow over on the right side here, which means it's really awkward for LS3 to get cover. Yeah, she's tried to get a nudge onto the reds. And even though she's finished there, Potman's still got a shot. Well, he certainly, when he cuts this, I don't think he wants to cut this with a great deal of force, because he doesn't want to run into the reds and open them up, which he hasn't really done. I mean, LS3, if she ever finished down here somewhere or other, she'd have a red up the table, but even that pocket's blocked, so let's just say LS3's not in good shape here. Oh, there's a shot there. The way that flew into the side pocket, I don't know that she played it, but it went in, and although the reds have opened up, there's nothing doing good down this end of the table. Well, LS3 had to do one thing, and that was find a way to the bottom of these 2 reds, and she's done that. Now, can she just come back off this red and take the other one up the table? That's what I think she's planning. Now, if she runs through and cuts this up the table, trying to get the cue ball over here as far as she can. In fact, it's actually went further than she'd really like. But the cut's on, and this will run through that way somewhere, I would think. And that's a good effort by LS3. Just got to watch the cue ball here. Dead weight into the side, she should be okay. But then again, what do I know? I mean, the commentator's eye said that the line was heading towards the pocket. It had to be really soft, or she had to do a little bit with the cue ball to avoid that. And that is a big mistake, because all of a sudden there is a 3-rat gap in Potman's favour. Yeah, you should have dug into it. And why didn't you? I mean, if the little voice in your head tells you that this cue ball's heading towards the pocket, you've got to listen to it and deal with the situation. And that was a big sellout. Well, it wasn't bad luck. You had to get the 8 ball to the pocket first of all. The bad luck part was just finishing slightly awkward in the 8. The daft part was knowing that it was going to scratch and pretty much admitting that by saying, nah, Lazy should have dug into it. I mean, she knew what she should have done to avoid the scratch, to take the scratch out of the equation, and didn't bother. And now she's got a bit of a mountain to climb here. Yeah, definitely a poor shot. Poorly executed from the point of view that she could have avoided that. Let's be honest. She could have took the scratch out of the equation with a little bit of draw spin, and it would have took the cue ball off that line, which is all you want to do. All you want to do is pot the 8 and keep that cue ball on the table. And Potman's had a slam there, although I don't know why, because the cue ball wasn't getting up the table. Well, that's now opened up one of the yellows and shut down another one. I think this is too straight to do anything, I think. Yeah. But she couldn't see enough of it. But again, the yellow ball's been advanced to a slightly better position. And Potman's not really get much of a shot on here. I mean, he could thin that one that he's next to and just cut it towards the pocket. Well, LS3 can drop the yellow into the side, take that yellow there and try and draw to the rail and find her way into a gap here. Ideally, she wants to find her way over here somewhere to get on that one. Well, she's came back for the combo. Now, is she going to try and stun across off the combo? Yes, she is. Well, this is it. I think she's got to play the cut unless she's going to try and chip into this yellow and come back across again. Not much room for manoeuvre. And this needs to come out. And it's not gone far enough. Well, Potman can now duck for cover. And LS3 going all out for the kill. But that's what happens in 8, any form of 8-ball, this is exactly what happens. You're doing your level best to try and get out, and then that one critical shot, you just don't quite get on it, and then you know what's coming next. You know you're going to be in trouble, or at least you should be. And all Potman's reds are all there, although LS3 can just get a hit in the yellow, no problem. Might as well give it a bang. You know, just chipping off it's not going to do anything. You've got to give it a good slam and hope. That's what I'd be doing. Well, she's not giving a free shot to Potman, so she's asking the question, can you get out? LS3's yellow sitting in a good spot. Good in the sense that it's got quite a number of pockets it can go into. And Potman knowing that if he misses, LS3's got a good chance of pinching one back here, so he's got to deliver. And let's be honest, if he does, it's an awful long way back for LS3. What's happening in the snooker? Nobody's told me anything for a while. The last thing I heard was Mark Williams got a 1-3-7 in the second frame of the night. Any updates? Well, again, just a pot and a roll through, but not too far. You don't want to be playing this last red where the cue balls want to run away from the 8-ball. Well, obviously he's a lot higher on the red than he wanted, so he's got to go up table, I think. Try and run up towards the yellow, but don't hook yourself. And he's gone inside the yellow. And it's going to be 8-4, barring a bad shot here by Potman. Well, into rack number 13. And LS3, well, should a good enough break. The 8-ball has gone in, so back for a re-rack. Once again, balls on the break. And a problem next to the 8-ball. However, the problem could be solved by playing. Well, she's played the combo into the yellow. And she can't get enough of that one next to the 8. Well, I don't know that LS3 realised what set of ball she was on there. Well, Potman with his free shot has nudged the yellow away from the 8 ball. The 8 ball's now wide open. Potman on the reds, and they are all available. There's one awkward one, which is the one just below the 8 ball. It's awkward. Although when you say awkward, I mean it goes in past the yellow, no problem. So you really should be getting on that ASAP. And now would be a good time. Just roll this down the rail, get the cue ball out, and get onto that one next to the 8 ball. I mean the angle's good enough. And at worst, he's still going to be able to see this red over the corner pocket. So he's got to get this cue ball out into the table and get this one. Good shape at the bottom right hand corner. LS3 blocked off down here. And Potman is strong favourite at the moment. And he's looking like he's going to run away with this match. Well, that's the best thing that's happened there for the LS3 right there. The yellow ball rattles in the pocket, comes back into the table and marries itself against the red. So Potman's opportunity to run out has suddenly been extinguished with that shot. Well, he can try running this red over the other one. Now, the shot to play here would be hoping you don't go near the knuckle. But if you spin this with a bit of left English to maybe stun it, well, he's actually trying to cut it into the side, which was a guaranteed hit. He didn't quite give it the legs. But he's still in a very strong position here. I mean, that red that's over the pocket, if he's ever going to get a sight on the other red, he wants to be hitting that fairly firm, I would imagine. And now Potman's in trouble at the top end of the table. LS3 locking things up, buying herself some time. But I think if she's going to have a chance in this match, she's got to win this rack. I think it's got to start happening for her. Potman's decided he's going to make his move now. Now, does he want to put this one into the side pocket and run down here and risk anything? Or does he want to keep that one over the side as a bailout and play this combo and see how it turns out? I think that might be the wiser thing to do, is leave that one over the side pocket and play the combo and see how things lie after he's played the combo. Well, it's LS3. I take it she's working at home. She's not doing customer service stuff from home, is she? Well, Potman's decided to pot his red into the side, and now where he's landed on this other one, he can cut it to the corner. He's certainly going to hit the yellow, and he's more than likely going to pot the red anyway. But is he now then going to have a shot on his red? Well, that's a bonus because they're both going in. But he's finished really awkward on this 8 ball, and it might be a glimmer of a hope for LS3. Now, I don't think the scratch is on because the yellow is blocking this pocket that he's near anyway. I don't think he's going into the other side pocket. It's all about the cut. He's going to be hitting it. Well, for some reason he decided he had to play a bank. Well, if ever you wanted a gift of an opportunity, you wanted Potman to be doing something crazy like that, when I think he should have just played the plain cut, and he's tried to play a bank. Cue ball scratches in the side, and LS3's prayers have been answered here, because I'm pretty certain she didn't think she was going to have another go at this. And Potman wants to be cutting that sort of stuff out immediately to protect this lead. He doesn't want to be giving LS3 a free go. Oh, corals. Now, this is thin. Cue ball is fine. And this is one that's been, well, it's got away for Potman and it's been stolen by LS3. But the break goes back to Potman. LS3 still trailing by 3. But that was a desperate rack she had to win, but it really was gifted to her on a plate by Potman. Now the break, there was a ball went down, so open table for Potman. While he's thinking about what he's going to do, let's have a quick look at Friday Night 9 ball. We see that One Pocket Slim and Cobra are playing in round 3. Well, they were playing because Cobra's just gone through. And down below, Bedhead and Spectre Dawn are going at it. Bedhead is 5-3 up. Spectre Dawn's getting a 7 ball. The one lost side, Mr. Bill, is just starting his match with Bankster. And Chimpy and DJ Redo are all square. And Potman's decided the Reds are good enough. Well, they would be good enough. And he's got that problem. Well, I think we're better cutting that red that's on the side rail up there onto the other one. And trying to maybe finish on the one on the side so we can get into these. Maybe that'd be one way of doing it. I mean, if he takes the other one down the rail and drops into about that gap there, he can cut that red into the side. So the way of doing that would be to try and combo this red up the table, and then take this one down here and come through into this narrow window that allows him to get on that red into the side pocket. Because he's just taken the ball that would have been his best chance to get into that red. This is really delicate. Really delicate. More delicate than that. He had the right idea, but that cue ball just keeps rolling. Even when you think you're hitting it nice and soft. But had he left this red up here, he had a chance to get into that 8 ball and red ball. Had he took these two up the table and left himself somewhere where he was knocking that in and coming into them. Now he can't do that. Now, if LS3 gets her tactics right here, when she comes to the table, she can have Potman in trouble. Because Potman's not getting out from this situation. So LS3's guaranteed she's coming back to the table. Well, where Potman's left the cue ball, it's not done LS3 any favours. It's really awkward. So just pushing this yellow down in or over the pocket. That's now tied up. One of the yellows for LS3, or has it? Yes, it has. Well, that's going to force Potman into either hitting his red that's up over the other corner, blocking, or trying to kick this, but he's got to get a ball to rail. Now the yellow will get to a rail, and the red's going in off the yellow. Well, that was the bonus part there. The bad news is he can't get to his red. Favourite for the World Championship. Toss up between Albinario and Cobra. Semi-pro. If things, I think, let's be honest, you get about the three of them in a hat and draw them out. Whatever one you draw out's the winner. It's that close. But as I said before, semi-pro would technically have to be the favourite, if only because he's played a lot more black ball. He's been in a lot more black ball situations than any of these guys have. To have a better idea how to execute a shot that will get him out of a situation or improve a situation. That's where semi-pro should have the advantage. But then when you put Albinario and Cobra into the equation, the skill level of those guys allow them to compete at semi-pro's level for potting balls and dealing with situations. So in that sense, it would even out. And that's the only thing I would put semi-pro favourite for, because he's had a lot more table situations than the other two guys. I think Albie's rating's one of these ratings that he doesn't have enough game. Nobody's got enough games played at this in this tournament. So his is his overall rating that it's given him. That's what that is. That's his overall rating that he's got for all games. And meanwhile, LS3 is pinching another one back here, just at the right time. I don't know. You need to ask Steve. That's me getting out of that conversation. That I cannot explain. Well, LS3's won 2 in a row. She's back to within 2. And she's just going to take a little break, as we will do as well.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Now remember, when things look bad, and it looks like you're not gonna make it, then you gotta get mean. I mean plumb mad dog mean.
Brain is gone.
Well, here we go. LS3 breaking off in rack number, what's that, 15? And a couple of balls in the break. In fact, 3 balls in the break, I think. And straight away, commits herself to the yellows. Reds weren't really much better. But if she can get an angle on that yellow there and cut it to the pocket, I think she might be able to chip that yellow out. This other one's obviously a problem as well. Needs an angle, and she's got the angle. It's not cut scenes. I mean, those scenes that I jump to are just, they're just all they are images. Oh, there probably is. There probably is one of them there. I'll find that one and add that to it. There's bound to be a soundboard with that on it. If I look around hard enough, I'll probably find it. Well, LS3's got herself on this awkward yellow. And it does go past the 8 ball. This will be a good shot because this is really ugly. Yeah, that is so difficult. But it's in good shape for LS3. Potman with two reds that he can duck behind. I mean, he's got an easy safety right now off the middle red up the top, or he can just do that. One of the two, whatever he's comfortable with. And LS3 has to get a hit and has to get a rail. And this is a difficult thing, reading these lines off these rails. You see, LS3 struggling as well. I mean, that is not a difficult hit because it's a big target, that yellow ball. Especially going to the rail first and chipping it, it makes it a big target, that area there. But LS3 couldn't pick the line, and neither could I. And Potman has his reward. He's got his free shot, and he'll be dealing with the problem red that's blocking the other one. And that's a nice little shot. Managed to squeeze the red past the yellow. I think Potman is a lot more comfortable in this table than he ever is in the 9-ball table. But this is a vital rack for him to get out, because LS3's almost breathing down his neck here, and he's got the chance to get out to open that gap again, stretch it to 3, and he'll just be 2 away from surviving another round. And he's perfect. Drop the red in, dead on the 8-ball. Not a problem. Well, this has come at the right time for Potman, but he did the right thing. He had plenty of his balls on the table. It was an easy lock-up. And LS3 didn't get out the kick shot, and that was the ultimate price. Potman back to a 3-rack advantage, and with the break, yellow ball flies in. But I think the Reds are favourite, if only because they're guarding both of these corner pockets from that other yellow that's in the bottom rail there. The yellow doesn't pass the red, so I think the Reds are favourite. That's why Snake Eyes balls in the break stat percentage was so high early on in the tournament. He was over 2 balls on the break for a while until he played more matches, and then obviously it was going to come down. I don't think Potman's got much on for him here. I mean, he can certainly cut the red onto the other red and make sure that he blocks the pocket. That's what he's going to do. And he's now in good shape. Well, LS3 potted one of her yellows and potted one of Potman's, which is a legal shot. And that one there isn't. LS3 was having to take drastic measures there to try and improve the table for her to give herself a chance. But she's given Potman the free shot. He just wants to help this red towards the left corner pocket. If he's going that way, he'll be brushing into his other red. Now he looks as if he's rolling onto the yellow to hold for the top red. That looks like the plan. But he's got to, if he plays that, he's got to get a ball to a rail though, so he needs to be thinking straight here. You know, you can't just nurse the yellow onto the other yellows and hold for the red. You've got to get one of these yellow balls to a rail. Off the free shot, that is. And that'll do, because you can just roll this in and roll through. Well, this match is just about a minute short of 2 hours since it started. And Potman is looking real good to be on the hill. And let's be honest, he should be, because this 8 ball isn't difficult. Just a gentle roll on line and let the pocket gather it in. And that will do nicely. And Potman now well on his way to the next round. LS3's break. Gives her a ball. Choice of the table. Yellow and red tied up. Next to the 8 ball, that is. Now, she's gone all out for the yellows. Now, I didn't even get a chance to talk strategy there, because I think what she should have done is take that red and then have ducked behind her own red that was up the table there, and had Potman in trouble. He would have had to kick. But I don't think she gave it much thought. She's going all out, just one direction, trying to run out. And I think she probably feels that the situation she's in now, she's dead and buried if she doesn't take the initiative. But it's no miss now. Got to get it all done. Now a roll through, far enough. It needs to keep going though. And you see, this is what Steve tries to keep reminding us all about, this lighter cue ball. It just won't roll through. You've got to hit it more to get it moving. There's a dicey little cut in the yellow. And this cue ball might finish over in this left rail here as we look. And it'll be a dodgy cut in the 8 ball. Well, either way, it's dodgy now. Well, she tried her best. But Potman has got a problem. At least she's blocked a red, which was a good move. Again, it's just about buying time at this stage of the match. Potman knows that if he makes any sort of mistake up the top end of the table, LS3 should have a sight on this 8 ball. So he's under pressure from that point of view. But again, common sense has prevailed. And he's locked LS3 up. Not quite though. And the 8 ball's now in a much better position for LS3 to try and steal this rack. Potman's now trying to get behind the red in the top left. Now this has got a line to get to the 8 ball. And again, it's a big target, because if you don't quite get the direct line, at least you should be hitting the corner there. Oh, this might... Well, if that was any harder, it might have chipped it in. But at least she hasn't hit Potman's red and brought it into play. And she's hanging on by the skin of her teeth here. Welcome back, semi-pro. And Potman's just trying to get these, trying to extract this fill, and that might be... I think there's just enough to catch that 8 ball. Nope, the mistake has been made. And so Potman, eventually at the third attempt, has forced the error from LS3. She thought she could catch the edge of that 8 ball. Could have probably spun it to the rail and chipped it. But now Potman, with his free shot, can knock that red out the way, get it back into a better position. And with the 8 ball over the pocket, Potman's committed to try and run out. So all of Potman's red balls still in the table. So he's 8 shots away from the next round. Two hours and 6 minutes now for this match. Well, I think that it might be a good idea to get rid of one of these red balls in this right side. I mean, he's got the 2 reds up over the top corner pockets, but I think it's a good idea now to get rid of this one that he's on, and come out. And if he comes out far enough and goes far enough, be able to roll this one into the side. Because I don't like having the 2 reds there when you're having to pot one and get on the last one to take the 8 ball. I just don't think that's a good idea. I think it's much better getting rid of 1, and if you can, get rid of 2. And he's missed the red, and LS3 survives. So Potman's feeling the pinch a bit. And that's what broke down the run out. But it might only be a matter of time unless Potman starts getting really nervy and doing some crazy stuff. So Potman breaks off in rack number 18. He's had a ball to break. We'll have a quick look at the Friday night 9 ball bracket, and we can see that Bedhead and Cobra are playing the hot seat match, and Cobra is 4 racks to 2 up. And meanwhile, DJ Redo has gone through against Spectre Dawn by 4 racks to 2, and he's 1 rack all with 1 pocket slim. So Friday night 9 ball again is rattling through. I mean, the way this is going, Friday night 9 ball could be over before this match is finished. So Potman, in fact, it's still an open table now that I think about it. And the table's a bit messy. It's a bit Lionel, isn't it? That's a new phrase that we'll use when We'll use that in commentary from now on. It's a bit Lionel. Do me a favour, anybody, please tell me what's happening in the snooker. It's only a quick tab out to the telly or whatever, or BBC iPlayer, and just go to the sports category and you'll see the live stream of the snooker and tell me what the score is between Mark Williams and Judd Trump. Anybody, I don't care who, just somebody tell me, please. So Potman on the yellows, LS3 the reds. Potman at the table. And Potman's yellow ball tied up on the left hand side below the 8 ball. That's going nowhere fast. 12-10. Seriously? Well, that's a good position he's got himself into. Well, I could tab out and bring the iPlayer up, but I don't want to. I don't want it to eat up my bandwidth. Well, they've played 22 frames, so there's another 2 frames another 2 frames left tonight, and it could end up all square. Oh, Mark's still awake. He said nothing for 2 hours, but he's still awake. Well, Potman. Well, that's probably the worst thing that's happened there is that he's finished behind his own yellow. Because I was thinking that had he stayed in play, he'd have been able to cut that yellow onto the red and onto the. In fact, I would have played that pretty firm if I had that shot. I would have rode my luck to try and bang that yellow onto the red, play the combo, and try and get that yellow into play. Now, LS3 has given Potman that opportunity by not getting the legal hit. And now he has his free shot. And he can play the shot I was talking about. You know, just play this, but he doesn't want to nurse this down the rail. He wants to hit this firm. Because if he just dabs at this and plays it soft, he's not going to improve his situation to get out. He's got to hit this. Well, that's one way. I don't know whether that was played the right way that he wanted to play it. Now, why is that saying a full snooker? Well, it is a full snooker because he can't get to it. He's actually locked himself up. What a fail that was. Because he should have played the shot I was talking about and hit that firm. And play the combo down the red onto the yellow and bring that yellow into play. And again, he's wasted an opportunity there. Well, I've got a TV licence. I watch. In fact, I actually watch more at iPlayer than I do the telly. The only time I watch the telly is when I'm eating. That's when I come down for breakfast in the morning. When I get home from work in the afternoon, and whenever, like this, for example, if this was earlier at night, I'd go down for a cup of coffee and watch a bit of the snooker, but it's getting late. And the end of Friday night nine ball still to come. But that's the only time I ever watch the telly. And when at this time of the year, when I get up in the morning, I watch what I've missed the night before in the snooker, because the snooker highlights are on it at 4 o'clock in the morning when I get up. So I'll watch the Mark Williams match tomorrow morning at breakfast. 13-10. Well, Trump will only be 4 away from the final. I mean, it's looking strong odds that it's going to be Trump and O'Sullivan in the final, and that'll be a brilliant final. I mean, it could end up in one of the quickest finals. So it could, because the two of them don't hang about. Especially with Ronnie O'Sullivan trying to get his 7th title. No, the only thing that's on the iPlayer is the BBC channels. BBC 1, 2, 3 and 4, CBeebies, and that's it. But it's good for catch up. What's that? A women's boxing match? I don't think I've ever. Well, the only time I watched a women's boxing match was at the Olympics. The British lassie that was fighting at the Olympics. That's the only time I've ever watched it. It's like watching women's football. No disrespect to women, and not to sound sexist in any way, but watching women's footballs is torture. I think the best that women should be doing is playing five-a-side football. It is not. But then again, there is a crowd for it, because that's another record crowd at the new camp. 94,000 they had the other night there. I think it was. But it does not appeal to me. Well, that's a good shot by LS3. She's in good shape if she can get that free shot to deal with that problem red up the table. But there is big danger for LS3, because if she does get that opportunity, she's got to deal with it right, and she's simply got to get out, because if she fails, Potman's 2 yellows are up there. Now, Potman has given LS3 her opportunity. Now, what does she do? Does she get behind that red and push it up the table, get it away from those yellows? Or does she pot those yellows? She's got to get this done right. That red ball needs to get well away from that top end of the table. The red has to come down here somewhere. And again, Well, I mean, the choice that the things that people do with a free shot amazes me, because there's no way the 8 ball should be heading down that direction anywhere near those reds. And now she's just having to duck for cover again. So that's a wasted opportunity there. And this is a lot easier to hit for Potman. And she may well regret that, because Potman could well knock this in. This has got a 90% chance of knocking the yellow in. Oh dear, that is unlucky. Well, LS3 breathes again. Now, can she make a better job at this time? Where's the 8 ball going? Oh, goodness me. And can she see this red? Yes, she can. But what about the 8 ball? Oh, that 8 ball is just off the knuckle. And the red went in its dying breath. She's treading a very fine line here between success and failure. Oh, this is going to be awkward. She's just got to roll this in and leave herself a tough red cut into that top right hand corner. Well, she's trying to run it. Trying to run it to get a better line. I don't know, this is sort of 6.5 a dozen from where she was in the first place. But bound to be on the 8 ball. And now she needs to have a good look at this 8 ball before she makes a move. And it goes. Well, it took a while. She's back to within 2 with the break. Well, it was just off the knuckle. So it did have a clean drop into the pocket. But, I was just hoping that LS3 had a look at it first before she did play it. And obviously she must have. Well, she got a ball. And there's problems at either end of the table. The 8 ball's blocked by the yellow up table. Or both yellows for that matter. One blocked in the pocket. The red's covered in the bottom right hand pocket. And either way, that yellow that's blocking the 8 has to go. Well, Potman seriously considering the yellows, and it doesn't matter who picks what. Either player's got a problem, regardless of what set of balls they're on. I mean, the reds have all got pockets, I think, because that red combos onto the other one over the corner, but the big problem's at the top end of the table. Now, quick tab to the one lost side in Friday night 9 ball. We can see that Bedhead and Slim are playing the semi-final match, if you want to call it that, and they've just started, and that is to see who is going to be playing Cobra in tonight's final. Now, is Bedhead going to get the revenge match because Cobra sent Bedhead to the one lost side in the hot seat match? So they're just underway, and Slim is getting a 7 ball, which is very generous in a race to 4. And meanwhile, Potman still 1 rack away, still with a 2 rack lead on the yellows, and still with a problem yellow that he could run into now and hope he moves it somewhere. He's got to take a risk. He's got to give this a bump. Unless he's trying to dink in the gap. I mean, I don't know whether he can... Let's have a look. I think he might be able to... Oh, that's tight into the side, but he might be able to cut that into the side and run down into the gap here and get behind this yellow. He's playing the one that's definitely on and the easiest one. But how is he going to get there? He's got another chance off this one to hit something, but whether it's going to hit it in a favourable direction is doubtful. Well, somehow or other, Potman's found himself on a spot. Now, it'd be easy to take the one up the rail, but that's no good to him. He's got to get rid of the one that's the problem and bide his time that his yellow ball up table is going to give problems for LS3. Now, he needs to take that one there. Regardless of what happens, he's got to push that up the table. The one in the side rail, I don't think, is the right move. I can't see why he's not taking care of the other one. And he's now hit his yellow so hard he's brought it down into trouble. I mean, that's just a silly shot. That was totally pointless, the shot he's just played, especially at that pace. I can't understand what he was thinking. Clearly he wasn't, because I mean, that yellow ball there was not potting into this pocket, but it wasn't as bad as where this one is. That one should have been up the table. And LS3's now decided she's going to block that pocket for that last yellow and get herself manoeuvred into a better position. And I think Potman now might realise the error of his ways. Well, that's now freed up the yellow. He's banked his other one up to the opposite corner. And suddenly with one shot it looks a bit better, but LS3 has the red over the corner now. This could be a wrong move. She's gone full commitment to potting her red, freeing up the 8 ball and going for the kill. Now that 8 ball does not go past the yellow. At least you need to convince me it does. It looks way too tight. And also, there's a fair bit of ground to travel over to get a cue ball down on that right side to be able to play that 8 ball. So this is all or nothing for LS3. I think she's loath to take that red that's over the pocket there. And those two reds look like a good combo to me. It's all going to hinge on one shot in a minute or two here. How do you turn the lines on? Oh, the ghost ball in VP3, it worked. Larry showed me how that worked. What you used to do is I think you set the game, oh dear. Oh dear. Well, LS3 has just shot herself straight in the foot. She's given Potman a free shot. She's not got the cue ball to the ball, let alone get a ball to the rail. And Potman trying to get on this yellow down table. Well, he should be taking it now because he's ball in hand, and now he's trusting to roll through and get good on this yellow. I think he should have been taking this one first, unless he can get good on it, and it's not bad. Well, it's just a pity that LS3's last shot was a nothing shot. She's hit the ball when she didn't intend to. And Potman, well, got to get the cue ball out onto the 8 ball. Now he's checking it with right English, but I don't think this cue ball reacts quite in the same way that you think it does in the 9-foot table and pool. But that has held a line. The pace was good. And this for the match. And so Potman survives, and LS3 lost her way in that match. And then the final cardinal sin was not hitting the ball on and giving those 2 free shots to Potman to survive. So he is through. And meanwhile, we have the match between Bedhead and Slim. We're just going to dive straight into that. And the combo with the 7 and 9. And Slim getting the 7 ball. Bedhead 2 racks to 1 up. Well, Slim calls LS3 the Velvet Hammer. But she went out with a whimper at the end of that match. And well, while that is going on, let's bring back up the bracket and just get confirmation on the black ball bracket on the 1 loss side, because now we have Stubb to play Snake Eyes in the next round. Tommy's already through, waiting on the winner of that match, so that it just escalates again in terms of the quality of player you're coming up against. Potman to play Mark Sharp. Again, that could be a very close match between these two. And then we've got Tornado Tam. I believe that's tomorrow morning. I'll be at work at that time. I'll actually be finished work, but I won't be home in time. But I won't be streaming it. But the bad news for whoever gets through is they play semi-pro. And that'll be the end of their tournament. Because there's no way that either Tornado Tam or Charlie Bravo are going to get any success out of semi-pro in that match. Now let's have another look up here, because I don't think the Albinario Larry match has been set yet. Meanwhile, Bedhead on the hill, trying to lock up the cue ball. Now, has that 3 travelled far enough? Yes, it has. Well, Slim is back against the wall here in this situation. Because if he doesn't get a hit, then he's going home. What's very negative? What have I said that is very negative? Tell me what I said that was very negative. Are you talking about the matches with Tornado Tam and Charlie Bravo? In terms of who's going to meet semi-pro? That's not negative, that's a fact. Ask anybody that's watching the stream. That is a plain and simple fact that one of those guys is going to take each other out tomorrow, and when they face semi-pro, they're dead and gone. They ain't going to win anything. They'll be lucky to win a rack. So Bedhead, just looking to get good in the 9. Nice bounce. And perfect. And so, it's going to be the revenge match for Friday night 9 balls final. And it's only been on for 2.5 hours, this tournament. 2 hours and 35 minutes. And that's it into the final. Well, it's going to be an early night for me tonight. So there we have it. Well, not that one, because that's the black ball one. Where am I going here? I'm all over the bloody shop. Hang on. Now I've got messages. Where the hell am I going? That's better. Right. There we are. It's Cobra who's getting the 7 ball against Bedhead for the rematch. And Cobra won the first match, the hot seat match, at 7 racks to 3. Let's see if Bedhead can get revenge in this race to 9 in this week's Friday night 9 ball final. Is that you away, Hazard? Or maybe he's gone. Thanks for watching. Well, Bedhead's got first shout here. 4 balls, a wee bit tight to get onto. It's a wee bit tight because it's close to the 7, but it's also a wee bit tight because the 5 ball's sort of in the way. So he's just got a narrow window that he can drop through onto. He doesn't need to do anything with the cue ball other than pot the 3 and just get the pace right, but he's going to be a good distance, and the chances are he's running into the 7 anyway. Well, he's come around a lot more than I thought he would want to. And he's trying to get himself into that Bedhead cut situation, and that's not far off it. Now, is he going to hold the line? Just. Well, he's got a straight choice here. Does he want to draw back to the left-hand side and try and play a combo with the 7 and 9? Or does he try and do something well, quite a bit with the cue ball to go over to the right side to cut this 7 into the left-hand corner pocket. And he's trying to get in. Well, if he'd spun in behind it, he'd have been perfect. But he's ran into it and pushed it more or less safe. And Cobra should be ready to pounce unless Bedhead gets lucky, which he hasn't. So Cobra gets first blood with his 7-ball money ball, which makes him strong favourite for this match again. Ball in the break. A possible bank on the 1 ball, because there's plenty of room to get it past the 8 and 7 into that gap. 2 ball though is no good to him because it's down at the other end of the table, so he's doing the right thing. I think he's trying to duck for cover here, is he? Yeah, trying to get good length in the cue ball, which he has done. Hasn't got the cover, but still it's a good distance that Bedhead's got to go to get a good hit on this one. Well, he gets a hit. And what he has done though is he's left Cobra the potting angle on the 1, and the angle, well, he's certainly going to run into the 2 and 5. This is where he just needs a little bit of luck. Well, that's perfect. He couldn't have asked for a better result. He's run into the 2, potted the 2 at the same time as the 1, and landed plumb on the 3 ball. That couldn't have worked out any better. Well, Bedhead's certainly going to be up against it if Cobra gets a few more rolls like that. So in goes the 7, and up goes the score, 2-0. And the 3 ball has gone in, and I think that was the 1 ball that has gone in also. And, well, he's not really got a shot in the 2. I mean, again, he could play the bank, and the worst thing he's going to have is a combo on the 4 and 5. And I don't know whether he can avoid running into the 4. Well, he's played the bank, and he's perfect. I thought he was maybe going to run around, but he had the angle to stun that in and hold the cue ball. Cobra, just remember, needs this 6 and 7 ball for a 3-0 lead. And this is something that Steve hasn't looked at finding a way to fix this, because, as I've said before, the threshold for giving a handicap should stop at 2,200 with these guys. When they're both over 2,200, they shouldn't be giving a handicap away to anybody. When they're playing each other, that is. It's just, it's unfair. It's an unfair advantage just because of numbers. That's the main thing. The rating system and the handicap system is fine up to a point, but not when both players are well over 2,200 and you're giving away a 7 ball to your opponent. I mean, that in real life is like Shane Van Boening giving the 7 ball to, another top professional. It's just not on. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with the rest of the handicap. The handicap problem is that there should be a threshold line where it stops. When you have two guys of this level with that rating playing one another, it should stop at 2,200. But it might again be far too much work for him to do to actually bother about it. That's a good cut. Bedhead has to deliver here before this match starts leaking away from him. Where's the cue ball going? I thought it was going to miss the 8 ball and come out behind it. Well, again, for anybody who was late joining the stream, and in case you haven't been paying attention in the lobby, I'll show you in a wee sec. So Bedhead's going to leave the Bedhead cutting the 9 ball here. Right, so Bedhead is off the mark. Let's just go to the main menus here. If we go to the support page and we go down the left hand side, Steve added this earlier on in the week, the playing in leagues, and it gives you a rundown about the league setup. It says we currently have one type of league, a handicap race to whatever, where each player plays all other players on the other team. There is an optional playoff where the top Y teams, like the top 2 or whatever, make the playoff bracket. There will be a specific time and day or the week leagues are played. It is possible to play multiple days or times during the week, though more normal would be once a week. league playoffs, at the completion of league, the top however many teams are put into a playoff bracket and play for additional stature and V dollars. Now, additional stature just means not much else, but your V dollars. Teams are composed of a captain and players. There is an option to name a co-captain in case the captain is not available for team lineup changes, and blah blah blah, and so on and so forth. So it's in the support page, and it's down the left pane, and you can all read the rest of it. Because this final would be over before I'd finished reading the rest of it. So, well, it's a quick 2 racks for Bedhead. He's back to within 1. And ducking for cover, and that's a good shot. Well, that's excellent. I mean, there's a good line to get to the 1 ball off that long rail on the right-hand side. He's looking at the left side. There's a big gap behind that one, so it's easy to squat behind it. But he's got the kick, and he's also got a good result. That's an excellent result. And also the distance that he has between that cue ball and the 5 means that there's no jump shot going to be played. Bedhead's looking at left English onto that rail between the 6 and 3, I think. I think that's what he was thinking about. But he's looking for the more direct approach. And he's kicked to 1 in, which is a bonus. And if he pots this 2, it's going to be a long 3-6 combo cut into that corner pocket. Well, he's having a good look at it. Looks fairly straightforward to me. Cue ball's going to go back up the table. 3 ball should be there or thereabouts. Now the problem is not only getting back up the table to the 5 ball, but how does he deal with the 7? Does he try and drop on the short side on the right hand side, or does he try and drop through in the left for the 7-9 combo? Well, this is no great shape where he is. It's just awkward. He's off the rail. He's going to have to jack up. Well, he's gone to the short side. He's just gone a wee bit further than he would like. But he doesn't have to do anything with the cue ball other than pot the 7. And that's going to catch the knuckle. And that's a gift for Cobra, because that's all he needs. That's the ultimate sellout when you're giving away the 7 ball, is to do all the hard work up to that point and then hang the 7 over the pocket. So Cobra back to 2 racks in front. I think that's dry. And I think Bedhead can see the 1. And not only that, he can pot it. And this is back to square one for Bedhead. He's got an awkward 3 ball to get on. Back to square one in the sense that off he goes again to do all the hard work. And he's got problems down the bottom here now. Can he go? Is he trying to stun in the short side of the 4 again? I think he is. Maybe I don't know whether he can hold it. No, he can't. So he's gone 3 rails. Got perfect in the 4. And got to get top side of the 5. For the 5 in the same pocket, I would imagine. Well, you know what I said to Steve, if you were on the stream the other week there, that we're now beyond the anniversary of the Virtual 9-Ball World Championships. It started at the end of March last year, and we're now well into April, and he doesn't want to set it up and have the sign-ups open so that it can start when he gets back at the end of June. So it's I don't imagine there's going to be anything for a couple of months now. Because what he said is he doesn't want it. He doesn't want a big tournament running while he's not available. So I wouldn't hold out any hope in anything between now and into July. So Bedhead gets it back again to within 1. Gets a ball in the break. He's not good on the 1. He's trying to use the 7 and the 8, but he hasn't hit that hard enough. It's left Cobra a shot, but let's have a look. I mean, he can try and drop behind the 2 to try and get it up in this pocket, but how's he going to deal with that 6 ball? Well, he's went for the breakout and hoping he would get lucky to still have a shot in the 2, and it's backfired. That was a sort of risk that he went all out for there. Maybe Cobra is going to get safe. Yes, he has done. Easy hit here for Bedhead, and a good chance of kicking this in. This 2 ball. But Cobra will be relieved he didn't leave anything easy. Oh, he's hit the wrong side of the 2. Now, is that a combo? No, it's not. Did you catch the end of the Potman? You probably were playing at the time. You didn't catch the end of the Potman LS3 match, Slim. LS3 sold it down the river in the last rack that Potman won. She played like an air shot, touched the mouse accidentally and didn't get the cue ball to the object ball, gave Potman the free shot that he needed to get himself out. So she went out with a whimper in the end, I'm afraid. I'll be honest, I think Potman's far more suited to black ball than he is 9-ball. It's just the thing that if that's what he decided to play, he'd be struggling to get many games at it, I think. But it definitely suits him a lot better. So Bedhead looks odds-on favourite here to tie this match up. So Stubb, do you honestly think you can get lucky for another 4 matches or however many it is? I don't think you can get that lucky. But who is it you play in the next round? It's not Snake Eyes, is it? Who is it Stubb plays in the next round? I forget. I can't be bothered going to look either. I'm too tired. So Bedhead breaks off in rack number 9. The 8-ball is gone. And he's played the lock-up. Perfect lock-up on that 7. And Cobra is going to have to use multiple rails here to get any sort of hit near the 1. Now the obvious one would be the opposite direction he's aiming and going that way to either hit it direct or go 2 rails. He's got the hit, but he's got the scratch, which was unlucky. But Bedhead has the ball in hand to do the business. Oh, Snake Eyes, aye. Snake Eyes should give you a tougher test again. Well, how does he get onto this 4-ball? I mean, he obviously can draw straight back. He's going forward and just trying to get up past that middle pocket. But again, it's the Bedhead cut. And no worries about the cue ball. He's guaranteed to be on the 5. It's all going to hinge from the 6 to the 7. And he certainly doesn't want to be going anywhere near the 9-ball. So he either stops the cue ball there and leaves a higher angle on the 6 like that, which is far better for coming down this left-hand side. I don't know whether he wants to let this run and come down the right side. He wants to stay well away from the 9. It's got the legs. That will do. That's pretty nigh perfect. So, Cobra was 4 racks to 2 up, I think. I think he was. And it's certainly 3 in a row for Bedhead. couple of more balls in the break, shot in the 1, room to get around onto the 2, and if he gets nice on this 2, he'll be looking good to get out. Well, this is going to have to get across the table twice. And the danger will be if he wants to go up the table. Because if he does anything with the cue ball, he's got a danger of a scratch here. He's just got to be careful. Now he's kept it square. The problem with that is he was never going to get good on the 4. Had he put a bit on this, he could have risked going that way, but the danger was then to scratch the side pocket. So he's left himself one go at the bank and run the cue ball. And he's played it perfect. And has it got the legs? And that is absolutely perfect. How's that for a positional shot? That was the wrong button I pressed there. That wasn't a fail. That was perfect. Oh, this needs to slow up. I thought he was heading to hook himself there. Quick blow at the nose. Potman, I don't know if you heard what I said earlier on there, but you're far more suited to black ball than you are 9 ball. Yeah. That's the game you should adopt as your game and forget 9 ball. That's the best tactical advice you'll get, is take up black ball. In fact, to be honest with you, that's all you should be playing from here on in this tournament. As long as you're in the tournament, that's all you should be playing. You should be steering well clear of 9 ball for the next week or 2. So Bedhead is on a roll here, but Cobra just needs to get to the 7 ball to pinch one back. Aye, but I'm not talking about US 8 ball. I'm talking about this table. I think this table suits you better. Not the thing we're looking at. I'm talking about the black ball table. So in goes the 7. And Cobra back with a break and back within 1. That's very true. Yeah, once this tournament's done and dusted, black ball will get locked up back in the cupboard, never to see the light of day again until we ever do another one. Now, I hasten to add, I think it was my idea to have black ball. Somebody else can say it was theirs, but I think it was my idea. And it certainly, well, whoever decided it was going to be black ball, the one thing it has done is it certainly showed the frailties in some people, especially Stubb, in terms of his real frailty in understanding the game and how it should be played. Because his one-dimensional style isn't going to win him the tournament. I'm pretty confident in saying that. And that might be my famous last words, but I still don't believe he can get so lucky to carry on and find a way of winning this thing. It's too difficult for him. But the other thing is the frailties in the approach to the competition side of play and how it's affected some people, that they've taken it so seriously that it's got inside their head. Cobra, once again, just needs to get this cue ball out into the table to have a sight in the 7, and we're all square again. Well, I don't think playing in the black ball tournament's affected Cobra's positional play in 9 ball. I don't see any after effects there. So we're into rack number 13, 6 racks apiece. The break from Cobra and a ball in the break, at least one. The 5 ball is gone. Dodgy cutting the one into the side. In fact, very dodgy. He's going for it in the corner. He's going to have to take evasive action to try and avoid the scratch. He's doing that. No, he's going for the cut now. Same thing though. He has to avoid skimming off this and catching that corner pocket, so he's drawn away from it. And a little nudge into the 8 would have done him no harm. And likewise again, he doesn't need to do anything, just needs to drop this in. And this match can turn very quickly back into Cobra's favour. Well, he's dropped it in and run around 3 rails. He's still got the cut on the 3. I now got to finish somewhere in the middle of the table near the right hand side for this cut in the 4. So again, he's drawn off this 3 to make the cut. Now, perfect angle again to cut the 4 and let the cue ball take its path across the table. So this cue ball come in that direction, and he should be reasonably good in the 6 ball. Well, it's gone squarer. Now, he might want to jack up here rather than running forward. Yep, he's just jacking up, and that'll do. And suddenly, Cobra's sprung to life again with his 7 ball money ball, and he's back in the lead. And Cobra's now won 3 in a row, as quick as that. And in those 3 racks, Bedhead's not had a sniff. I think he's ran them all. The Cobra finally comes up dry. Bedhead with a shot in the 1. Now, what's he going to try and do with this 2 ball? The 8 ball's a bit in the way to try and get distance here. He has to miss that 8 ball if he's banking the 2 down the table. Well, he's went all out for the bank, and it did everything but go in. And the best thing that happened there is it didn't go in because he was hooked in a 3. And now Cobra's got to try and find a way out to see the 3 when he pots the 2. And there is a gap. nudges the 5, does no harm, and again, plenty of room to get a sight on. Now, the only thing about this is it's a thin cut, so it looks as if he's checking the cue ball a little bit on the right hand side, just to keep it on a line down this side of the table. And that might be just too far. I think he's cutting that to the rail. That's not cutting into the pocket. He can't see enough of it, I don't think. But then, what do I know? And he's looking to kick this. I think he is anyway. I think he was looking at it. Now he's looking to. I think he's just looking to cut it. And then again, I think he just went all out for a bit of luck. He might have got that in the sense that he's not left anything easy. Now it's a thin enough feather in the 4 to get distance from it. But does Bedhead want to try risk? I don't think that's worth trying to risk cutting that. I think he's got to duck for cover here. He might be trying to bank it onto the 5. He's giving it a good go. And that's just gone in its last legs. And he can still see the 4, and the 4 goes. But I don't know whether he can. I don't think he can hold enough off this 4-ball cut to stay for the 6. Well, he's trying to just help it in, but you know that was asking too much. And well, Cobra can see enough of the 4 to pot it, and he'll just want to drop out into the table. Drop the 6 into the side, maybe draw back for the 7. And he'll be 2 in front and on the hill. I don't think he's gone far enough. And it doesn't really go up top. I think you can cheat the pocket. You've just got to miss the 8-ball. I think you could possibly cheat that pocket, but you'd have to hold a very tight line to the 8 at the right pace for it to gather into the pocket. Yeah, he used all of the pocket. In fact, he had more room than it looked, and it went in. And so Cobra is 1 away from the Friday night 9-ball crown. And balls are dropping in all over the place here for Cobra. He's not good in the 1. The 2-ball has gone, the 8-ball has gone. Now he can cut this back and duck for cover if he wants. Now, just while he's lining up that shot, we'll tab back to the black ball just to get to the main page if we can get there. I think he went for the cut there. Right, quick reminder, there's a match tomorrow morning at 10 AM. The 1 loss side match with Tornado Tam and Charlie Bravo. But the big match of the weekend is on Sunday afternoon, at 3 PM. I'll be working on Sunday and I should hopefully be home in time. And it'll be the match between Cobra and Zangetsu. And meanwhile, Bedhead at the table trying to survive for at least one more rack. Now he could go over to the left side here because he's got the angle to do it. Nice firm stun. Perfect. Well, is Bedhead going to get a bit of luck? He wants a ball and a shot. And a run out if he can to take this all the way. But he's got no joy. I didn't hear anything go. Well, Cobra can have a go at the bank. The cue ball's going to be heading up towards the 3 and 5. He'd be taking a risk and hoping he would still have a sight in the 2 ball, because obviously the 2 ball goes. But he's got no real idea where the cue ball's going to finish up if he goes for the bank. Well, that's hard to say whether he tried to play the bank or tried to duck for cover, because we're none the wiser. At the pace he played that there, I think he played the bank and tried to make sure that he hit it soft enough so that he didn't end up going in behind any of those balls and possibly hooking himself in the 2. But either way, Bedhead's at the table. But his chances of running out are fairly slim. Especially now that he's got himself fairly straight in the 2. Because the 3, let's be honest, it doesn't go. Now he's looking at the little billiard. And this has got to be fairly thin on the 3 to get the thick contact on the 5. And he doesn't want to hit it too soft to knock the 3 safe against the 7 ball. Like that. Where now he's got no shot. Now I could see that coming. He had to play it at a pace where he could make the billiard and knock that ball in, but he couldn't play it that soft that the 3 ball was just going to leak away towards the 7. And he hasn't avoided the collision with the 4, which I think was part of the plan. He had to miss the 4 and try and duck in behind it. And so Cobra has his chance for the match. And remember, he only has to get to the 7 ball. So the first problem is this here, getting from the 3 back down to this 4, and then back up to the 6. Loads of room to do it though. Well, guys, it's getting to that time of night. Bedtime. Well, it's actually well past my bedtime. But thanks all for watching, and I hope you can join me on Sunday afternoon. I hope I'm here as well. I've every anticipation of being here, or intention, I should say, and that's a good pace. And if I do get the match between Cobra and Zangetsu and you're not around, Don't forget, get onto YouTube. It will be on there, as will tonight's match, as well as what we've seen in the remainder of Friday Night 9 Ball. And so it's going to be Cobra with that much needed 7-ball money ball that's going to help him win Friday Night 9 Ball this week. And that is it. So Cobra is the winner. Well done to him. Although he knows he didn't need the 7-ball. And unlucky to Bedhead that he's gave him that away twice. And Cobra's taken him out twice because of it. Right, so that is it. Tornado Tam tomorrow morning. And Cobra and Zangetsu on Sunday afternoon. So with that, folks, it is a very good night. Take care. Stay safe. And I hope you can join us on Sunday for the big match on Sunday afternoon.
Good night, ladies.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else. No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.
Good night, ladies.